All right, we are officially recording. As we were having some fun behind the scenes, as my son was in here and mom's dog and everybody. So we're just welcoming all of you to this amazing Zoom tonight. I just want to make sure you all are sharing this on your team pages, in your team chats, letting the world know that we are on this Zoom tonight with the Queen, Pam Sowder. I get to interview my own mother tonight, y'all. I'm pumped about this. And what an exciting night, Mom, because you know what? We have some really good questions. And what I love about the group that's come together to ask these questions is these are next level questions. This isn't just everyday stuff that they want to know. They really want to take their business to the next level. And I know that's why we're all in this space together tonight, is because we're ready for the next level. It's not just in our life, but it's in our business. And in order to go there, we have to be on the up level with everything, right? It's not just in one area. It's in all areas. And so I just kind of wanted to start with that and just kind of let you all know that this space is supposed to take you to that level. And I want you to absorb these questions tonight, knowing where you're going in this business. And if you aren't 100% clear with that yet, maybe you'll have clarity with that tonight. And maybe you'll have the vision of where you want to go with it works. And hopefully this Zoom will help you go there with not only strategy, but with mindset. And whenever I do a Zoom with my mom, I want you guys to know that I want to come from a place of mindset. That if she's good at a lot of things, and mindset is one of those key things that makes her stand apart and stand as a leader within this company. And I really am just so grateful for that. It was kind of hard growing up knowing that she was so tough. But I feel so grateful knowing that the person that I've become and that the leader that I've become and that all of you are here to become and are as well. And that's just such a wonderful gift to have her. So, Mom, we have some amazing questions tonight, but can you just share just something that's on your heart that you feel led to share with this group about what up level means to you?
What a what?
What up level, the up level.
Well, I do want to say one thing. Kay used to hate it when she would come to me and our brother and say, I'm bored. And I would say, well, then you're boring. And I wouldn't say anything else after that. And then they go do something. So use that with your kids, because there's nothing to be bored about. If you're bored, that means you're boring. You're not doing anything. You're just hanging out expecting somebody to do something for you. So up level is something that we really all need to define. It is something that, we hear that term a lot, and we tell our team and our distributors, we want you to up level up, rank up or whatever. But what does that really mean? And I don't think we define it enough and on personal terms. So this is personal for each one of you. So, I've always got my journal with me, and I hope that you have yours with you. And so here's how we're all going to really do this, because we talk a lot about if you can define it, if you can write it out, if it can become common for you, a common element for you. And, you hear a lot about common sense and common thoughts, which means it just makes sense. It's real to you. You can define it, and it is reality to you. If we're just throwing something out there and we're saying, oh, I'm going to be a top money earner. What I hear this all the time when I travel. I just got back this afternoon from being in Michigan last night, and a lot of people came up and told me that probably all but one didn't really mean it. They didn't really mean it. I could tell it was a flip answer. It was something they thought that I wanted to hear. But one, she had that look. I've seen it in a lot of your eyes of, I'm just going to get this done. You don't have to talk about it. You don't have to say anything about it at all. It's just within you, and you can feel it. Have you ever made a resolve like that? Have you ever made that decision and nothing could sway you? You became laser focused and honed in on what you were going to get done. So let's say that and I know some of this will sound like, is this really all there is? And it absolutely is. We've got top money earners already doing this on this Zoom right now, maybe aware of it, maybe unconscious of it, but it is getting very definitive in what you want. So what does level up mean to you? To me, it's quite different than it is to you. My dollar amounts are quite different. Where what I have in my journal is quite different. But if I went back 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, depending on where you are, ours would probably match up, be very similar. You know, I originally started in the industry to make $1,000 a month. And I thought that was it. You know, that was it for me. And then I did that once I got started. It took me 6 months to get started. And then 4 months later, which a total of 10, I hit that goal. Then something interesting happened. The next month, I stayed right at it. I was $15.78 that first month, $203. The second month, $748. The third month, a little over $1,000. The fourth month, and a little over $1,000. The fifth month. Now, how did my organization know not to do any more than that? I mean, I find it baffling to me how all of this works. And then when my sponsor called and he said, "What was your check?" Because he checked in on me every month. And I said, "Wow, it was at my goal. It was at that 1,000." And he said, "Well, what do you mean? Why didn't you double it?" And I honestly was stumped by his question. I remember just being like, "What?" He said, "Yeah, you've already proven that you can do that. You went from 15 to 203 to 748 to 1,000. I mean, that's massive leaps when you think about it in a combination of everything." And I said, "Do you really think I can?" And he said, "Absolutely. You've already proven that to yourself." And I got off that call and I said, well, I thought, well, how did I keep it doing the same? And then I realized that was my goal. So I didn't work above that. I worked at that. I didn't do anything more. I didn't have another dream. I didn't have another thought. I've arrived. I did just enough work that month before to get that same amount. And I mean, I stepped it up. I stepped into gear and I went to 2,000. I went to 4,000. I went to 6,000. By the end of that year, I was a 5-figure earner monthly. And I'm telling you, it all was just that one comment that he made to me shifted my mind into knowing that I've already done this. All of you have too. Can you all remember when you doubled your check, even if it went from 50 to 100? Why is another 0 or 2 on the end of that any different? It's only different up here. That's it. To go from 10,000 to 20, it's no different than going, sometimes it's easier than going from 200 to 1,000 if we get our mind right. So how do we do that? It's just a shift. It's just a small thing. And then the people show up. And we've all done this. We've all made decisions to level up or to double or to go to the next rank. And when we decided, when it was definitive, not flip, I'm talking about it is done. That attitude, I want you to all write this down. It is done. D-O-N-E. It is done. And speaking of done, I've watched the dones do this all the time. All the time. I'm going to tell you what happened last night. So Denise Walsh, 5th month into going Black Diamond, I had to be the one to call her and tell her that she didn't make it that month. She made it the first 4 months. She was shy a few $1,000s, like $2,000, $98,000, and she didn't make it. The interesting thing about that entire conversation is she said, I knew it. I kept saying, watch it just be like 97, 98,000. She said that all month. And that's exactly what it was. It took her almost 2 years later to accomplish it again, to start again, because it kind of broke her. And then she decided, no more. I am going to get this done. I am going to do it. So she set her sight on the 6 months and she started. And as she got to that 5th month, she started thinking, oh my gosh, what if I do this again? So she started listening every single day to The Strangest Secret. Every single day by Earl Nightingale, she listened to that to get her mind right first thing in the morning. When a thought would pop in, what if this happens again? She goes, no, it's over 100. It's over 100. She went right back to work. She rallied her team, got her team back to work, got her team thinking Black Diamond, which meant all their positions would rank up as well. All their checks would rank up as well. She made the 5th month. The 6th month going in, she said, okay, I'm going for 113. I'm going for 113. I'm going for 113. She said, no, that's too close. Wait a minute, excuse me. She said 103, 103. And then she said, no, that's too close. I'm going to go for 113, 113. And she kept saying 113. She says, I've got it done. She rallied her team. She got them to even place double auto ship orders. She just took charge of it. Mark called her at a leadership retreat event that she was doing, and her check was 131. It was 131. She said, I'll take it. Got the 113 wrong, got the numbers transposed. I got chill bumps, y'all. I mean, that's calling it out. So let's get our journals out. Let's define what this really truly means. Write it out as though it has already happened, as though you're already living in it, as though you're already experiencing in it. See, this is what I've learned. Here is what you want. Here is where you are. Okay? There is a gap. Okay? You think that you have to go here, that you have to move here. This is what it's doing. It's coming to you. It's coming to you. You don't have to do anything extra, okay? Other than walking in that every day. I'm walking in this every day. Here come the people. Here come the people. Here come the people. Here come the ideas. The ideas. She got ideas. Let's get my whole team involved. Let's ask people if they'll order extra this month, if they'll really step up. That was an idea. That was an idea coming to her. That was a people coming to her, and then it happened. And so all our job is, our sole job is to get into the place, get into the thought that it is done. And when you walk in that, ideas pop in. People pop in and you call them, you contact them and you say, hey, I thought about you today. Are you interested? A new post comes up in your mind and you post it out and it goes crazy. Everybody wants it. Dead people on your team come alive. People that have been watching you for 2 years ask you, can I be a part of your company? We've already all experienced this. It seems as though it's magic, it's miracles. But what it is you are walking daily in that focused thought of it is done. So that's what it means, Kay. It's not doubling up, tripling up in your efforts, because that's coming from a place of desperation. That's coming from I got to do this and I got to do this by myself. Remember, I got to do this by myself. Through all that hard work, exhaustion, and energy, only to have the entire team crumble as soon as you hit the promotion. How many of you have had that happen? I've had that happen. I had that happen several times in my first company until I realized I can't do all this. Now, I might can do it to diamond. I might can almost do it to double, but there's no way you can possibly do it to triple and beyond. You need to wake up and realize that you've got to step into that promotion. You've got to step into that check, and then you work more authentically. Then it's from a place of inspiration. I'm there. I've got this. This check is $50,000 a month. And here's what I've talked to a couple of you on the road, and I said, why are all of you all clustered together here? All of you are, it's like your incomes are neck and neck. Some are so close, they're within hundreds of dollars. It's not because we're surrounded by the wrong people. We're surrounded by people that think this is it. This is all there is. We're in that collective energy together where we need to all decide we're going to all do this. That we're nowhere near where your checks could possibly be. I mean, everybody on this Zoom should be over $100,000. You all have, this is monthly, you all have the ability. You may have not put the time may have not been in there yet, but every single one of you have the drive, you have the desire, you have the ability, we have the compensation plan, we have the products, and you have the tools. So there's nothing missing. The only component, the only variable is what's going on up here. And so we get together and we go, what was your check? Oh, it was only $1,000 more than me. Shoo. Oh, that's okay. No, what we want is we want to burst out of this Zoom and everybody's doubling and tripling. See, that's what we know is going to happen. There's a handful that truly believe that. That's what the company desires from a billionaire standpoint. A billionaire annual revenue coming in. A billion. Very quickly, when companies hit $1 billion, they very quickly do too. So see, we're in this mind too. We're all in here together. We're ready. This company is ready. We're here ready. This is what's coming, is all of you. It's going to either be you or somebody different. We know that because we're going beyond $1 billion. Do you all not feel that? You know, a couple people last night that have been in 9 years that kind of are not doing much at all right now. They said they can sense it, that there's something different, that they can feel it. Okay, let me bring you back. Does any of that make sense?
Yeah. I'm like, I needed this so badly in so many different ways, you guys. It's just opening up my mind to things I've never thought about before. And the analogy from here to here, here to there, just blew.
Yeah, we're all trying to do this.
Yeah. We're trying to collapse time. We're the ones trying to collapse time. That's not our job.
We want to allow it in. We want to allow, hey, one of your biggest prayers at night should be bring them on. Lord, I am so ready. I am so ready for this team. I am so ready for my leadership to step up on their own. John Acala did something brilliant at his at their leadership retreat. He stood up to his team. He said, we are ready for you to take over your teams. Because he knows if he does not allow that to happen and he tries to hold on to that, they're not going to grow where they need to grow. So talk to your leadership.
Mm-hmm.
If you're still in there trying to do everything, that is your ego, and that is going to take you away from accomplishing your goals. It's like I don't call any of you, Amanda, you're killing it out there. I've never called you and said, are you motivated today? I would never do that. You should never do that to your people or even think it. See, I'm not thinking that. I'm thinking, I've got the best team in the world. My team is moving. They are breaking free of what's holding them back, and they are going to double and triple their checks. And new people are coming in every single day. And, you'll hear from Mark a lot of times, and it hurts. It stings when he says this. I don't think we have our top money earner yet. I mean, he'll say that. He says that for a couple reasons. He truly believes that, and he's trying to get you to start thinking that. Come on. Why don't you sponsor them? Why don't you be that? Why don't you become that? No one is stopping you. See, I was mentored by someone that made $1.5 million a month, 18 months in a row, and the comp plan didn't pay half. We pay 8 times more in our comp plan than that comp plan paid. Think about that. He just knew it. He just knew it. And he would talk to me sometimes. I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? That's what he was talking about. And after I experienced trying to do this and push it and pull it and beg and plead and got exhausted, I realized it's about me. I need to step into that million a month, that $100,000 a month, that $50,000 a month. And then what does it look like? Write it out. Be specific. What does it feel like? Call your accountants and tell them to get prepared. That's what I do with mine. This is what we are going to be making. What do I need to do to prepare my household for this? And you probably don't want to tell anybody else, because if they laugh or if they look at you, it might take you out of your belief. So this may be something you keep between you, your journal, maybe your spouse, maybe not, and your accountant. But that is called digging a ditch and getting it ready to be filled up with money. And digging a ditch is calling your accountant and saying, get ready for this pile. It's going to be coming in. I want to make sure that we are prepared. And what is that? It's just faith, just belief, knowingness. And so I would write out that day, exactly how that day would feel like, what it would be like, just watching that on the 14th of the month just hit my account, and I could see it, visually see it. And what would it feel like? And what would I do? I would run around the house screaming. I mean, just think about it. Now, what you need to do every single month is, as soon as your check hits, you run around screaming, being thankful, feeling grateful, thanking your team, highlighting the ones that promoted. If your check is not where you want it to be and you're dogging it, you're not grateful for it, you're not thanking anyone for it, then it's probably not going to grow. It's not going to grow in the way that you want it to. So I was so grateful for $15.78 because the company paid. It paid me based off of that volume that I had. And I was grateful for that. I couldn't believe it that they actually paid. And then I was more grateful for the 200 showing me that it increased because my efforts had. So it was showing me it's a mirror effect of whatever. Anything out here on the outside is a mirror effect of what's going on up here. So this is all we've got to work on. This, and then the skill sets, obviously, which all of you are learning. You're just getting better and better. Make sure you're doing the things that you really love doing. If it's Instagram, pour more into Instagram. If it's Facebook, pour more love into Facebook. Learn more about Facebook. Talk to Facebook. Thank Facebook. If it's belly to belly, find more bellies and be excited about that. If it's all three, then do all three. And if you want more belly to bellies going on in your business, but that's not your thing, ask for people that love that. Say, I want that on my team. See, I didn't really like doing events 5 days in a row at a trade show. But I had people on my team that did. So I honored that. I would show up a couple of days. I would have fun with them. I mean, it was like I loved it. And because I wanted more people that liked that. I would go to wrap parties and be sweating profusely, wrapping people in the bathroom. This is when we were measuring, looking at ladies' crotches and butts. And Kay has been there with me. It's not as much fun as people think it is. We've all done it. And just sweating and writing down their results and loving every minute of it because I wanted more people that like to do that. That's what I want. I'm going to show people that this is fun. I'm going to enjoy every minute of it. And that's what we do because we show up full on. If there's 2 people in the room, I'm telling you, I flew all the way to Columbia, Missouri. Dr. Don also showed up. There's 14 people in the room. Now, most people would say disaster. I said, don't even tell Mark. He won't understand it. It doesn't matter. We're going to give everything we have to these 14 people. And guess who 2 of them were? Joel and Stephanie Dunn. And I think they were double diamonds at the time. They fell in love with us over that weekend. It's you just don't know. If it's 2 people, I'm telling you, one of those could either be the one or lead you to the one. Just show up full on with everything that you do. Everywhere you go, you talk about your business. Every waitress, every waiter, every clerk, because what you're doing then is you're building your belief. It has nothing to do with them. Every time you talk, you're training yourself. Every time you talk to someone, you're showing yourself that you believe in who you are and what you're doing. When you're not, I've been out with you all. I don't see anybody talking to anybody. The whole time Dave and I were in New York, I talked to everybody and I said, hey, have you ever heard of It Works? No. What have you thought about being a social influencer or a brand ambassador? Yes. They couldn't give me their information fast enough. Kay knows because I said, look, you got to help me with this. I don't even know how to contact them on Instagram. So you got to help me. And so she knows it's so true. Have any of them signed up yet? Not yet. But I have every belief that one at least will. But we're not even doing that. So guess what that's showing you? That's just, you're not in. To me, you're not in the game. You're not really full on in the game. And that's just not showing me. That's showing that gap. That's showing that gap. All right, Kay, what else you got for me?
Well, I just said in the chat, there was only one other girl in the hair salon today. I mean, it's Salon Loft, so it's me and the stylist, but there was one girl, she was rotating in between. And I got her phone number. I'm like, she's the only one in here, but I'm going to get her phone number. Yes. And she's already text messaged me tonight, you guys. She's already sent me a text message. So I think that speaks volume. One of the questions we asked some questions and we wanted to just kind of get some nuts and bolts from you before we do a little bit more mindset work. And so one of the questions on our page was, just specifically about belly to belly and sip and sample. So I'll read it to you. Mm-hmm. She says, I would love to switch up the game and focus more on in-person stuff. Sip and samples, try-its, all sorts. I know you did lots of belly to belly. Any tips on how to get newly met strangers to an event? I feel okay with those I know and how to go about asking, but not someone I have met at the mall or something.
Okay, so this is just somebody you meet like at Target?
I guess at the mall. She said like at the mall, someone random.
Well, it goes no different than social media or anything, any relationship, any friend, anybody. Like, let's say you meet a mom, for some reason you two are connected in some way through the kids, and then you just feel like, wow, I want to know her better. You exchange information and then you just build up to it. I mean, that's all I ever did is, I'd be out all the time, and I still am. And I went into a shop in Southampton, and I walked into the door, And, I'm shopping, and a girl comes up to me and she said, hey, we've got a, what was it, Kay? We do them all the time. People do them all the time.
Oh, a pop-up.
A pop-up. She goes, yeah, we have a pop-up shop. And I said, really? She goes, yeah, we're doing some facials over here and some eye cream. She said, here's a coupon for it if you want to stop by. We're right here. It was just right there at the corner of that cool little boutique. Why are we not doing those everywhere? Why are we not doing those? Those are so normal. You see them in the malls now, pop-up shops. Everyone knows. Look, we do a lot of boutique shopping. That's what we love to do. We go into them all the time. They are so hungry for new business. And if you show them your followers on Instagram or Facebook, and you say, look, I've got 30,000 followers on Instagram, or 10,000, or even 5. I'd like to do a pop-up shop here on Saturday. Could I just bring a table in and you do it's a sip and sample. That's all it is. And you can say, I'll even post on Instagram that I'm going to be here. And then you've also got your coupons, your Blitz cards, that you could be taking around all the local shops saying, I'm going to be here on Saturday. It's just another tool, another way to get more business. That's how I would do belly to belly, because what would happen is we would go into a salon, and I see Laura on here. Laura and I would do this all the time. We would go into a salon. Kay and I did this all the time. That's how she met Ingus. That's how you did your whole entire business in the beginning, Kay. And we would just walk in and start a conversation. Well, that salon, I was not trying to sign up that owner. That was not my goal. My goal was her 50 customers that came in on a Saturday. That I just wanted to set up shop in her shop, not cause her any trouble at all, and see if I could come in on her busiest day and offer her customers something fun. And if I kept it light and free like that, well, here's what always happened. She saw all that business. So by the end of the day, she didn't want me to have those customers. She wanted those customers. So my goal was not, I'm going in to sign up this owner. They have too much going on until they see how simple and fun and easy it is. So we can be doing that. We could do pop-up shops for the teachers. We could do pop-up shops at every boutique. It doesn't matter if it's shoes to bras to clothing to makeup. We've got the cool products to do that with. And then as far as, I would be asking every friend that I have if I could do a sip and sample at their house. Start there with people that you know. And then as you're out running around, say, oh, we do this fun event. Just have some friends over. I'll bring all the drinks, because that's what we do. We bring the sip and sample. You don't have to do anything. Just invite them over, and you're going to get some free samples for doing that. Don't word it any more than that. We're all busy. We love to party. We love to have the girls over. And another thing women love is to be on the end. We want to say, hey, I found this great product I think we'd all enjoy. Let's give it a try on Saturday. Just to come by my house. I used to do a lot of morning moms out. A lot. I would have them come over. I would go to their house, or we would meet at a coffee shop. Anything to get out of the house. Anything to be together. And I made sure it was fun, casual, and quick. That's what we want. We don't want to keep them long. It's not a health seminar. It's sipping and sampling. We all want to look better. We all want to feel better. One of the questions we asked in Indianapolis, what are you looking for in products? And almost every single person said energy. Energy. Isn't that true about everybody? So, Kay, I think that's a good example of what we could all be doing.
100,000%, and great tips in the chats. I was sharing next Tuesday, a girl on our team, she's hosting a sip and sample after school drop off at 9:30 in the morning for brunch. And that's celery. One thing that I learned at this last sip and sample, you guys, I'll share this tip with you. This just kind of happened organically. I didn't plan this, but it just kind of the way that it came out of my mouth. Night night, baby. Okay, good night.
Good night, Kennedy. Mimi loves you.
Wearing the pajamas, you got him. We started the sip and sample, and we went from morning to night. And it just kind of happened. And so we said, we're just going to take you through your day. Celery in the morning, then keto coffee. And we worked all the way into collagen at night before they go to bed. And they loved it. Out of 4 guests, 2 were mother-daughter. We had 2 become new loyal customers, just shy of $300 in sales, just based on 2 loyal customers. So if you guys want to ramp up your volume, this is how you ramp up your volume, because it's more likely that people will order more in person because they're getting that one-on-one sample, tasting, experiencing connection. And so this is a tremendous way for you to boost your volume. This is why we were building so fast in the past. Because we were growing beyond, we weren't just getting to a rank, we were growing beyond it. And you guys need to do the same thing. You need to be in the homes with people. You need to be face to face. People are so lacking connection today. They're so hiding behind their phones, but they don't want to. They want to be in your space. They want to be in person. They're really, and they're wanting to be healthier. They're not partying like they used to. People want to take care of themselves, and we have a voice for that. So be the voice, be the person that's in their living room sharing these amazing products with them. Don't be afraid of sharing this with somebody. They need what we have.
And you know, Kay, another thing too, I was talking to everybody last night, and all of them, I would say 90% felt threatened by social media. And so if we've got most of our team feeling threatened by that, because they'll say, I'll post, but we know what's going on. They're not following up. They're scared. They're not following up, following through. If we offer them another alternative, and that's all we're going to do here, but we have to do it first. We have to show them first that we can go out. Now, this may not be your cup of tea at all, but what are you wanting in your business? How about all those dead people that aren't doing anything because they feel threatened by social media? They just don't feel like it is for them. They're trying and they're spending all this time learning and nothing's happening for them. What if they did get out and they got that 2 customers with $300 in volume? What would that do to your organization? It would just explode it. So we've got to show it by example. I really encourage all of you to start hosting a few of these and going live and showing your team how simple and how fun it is. It is not old school. There are companies in our industry, this is all they do, and they're growing. They are getting in people's homes. They're doing pop-up shops. You can call it whatever you want. That's trending right now, so maybe that's the name of it. But people will come. In some businesses, that's all they do, and they're thriving. So I believe that it's a layer that we're missing, and you're also missing out on that higher income, older female that has a lot of connections, and you're not finding her. You are not finding her, and she's got the biggest spending power out there, and you'll find her in a home.
Love that. Love, love, love. Okay. Okay, so Mom, you ready to move on to the next question? Or did we lose you? Are you still here? Can you hear me? There you are. I think you froze a little bit. Maybe it was.
Yeah, I did. Just for a second.
Okay, cool. All right. That was so good. I'm going to move to like a leadership question. So, I have a lot of incredible diamonds and doubles, and I guess I'm not sure what my role should be to helping them break through to VIP. I know leading from the front is always important, but sometimes I wonder if I could be doing more or doing things differently to lead my leaders and or encouraging them to step up and out.
Yeah, you know, I was talking with Tiffany Pasek last night. She's got a room full of that 8-9-year veterans, you know, and they're just not moving. And I could see them in the room as I was talking and sharing my story, the look on their faces of disappointment in themselves. And there's not a worse feeling than having disappointment in yourself. We've all done that. And I recognize the look because I've had it in myself before. And so my heart went out for them, but I also knew that they had stopped doing the work, that they weren't feeling like a victim. They weren't bashing anything. Some had excuses. This happened or this happened, where those things happen to us propel us even more forward, moving us even into bigger heights because of what happened. So we take life circumstances differently, all of us. I don't believe in, and Tiffany and I've talked about this for a long time, that there's anything more that she could possibly do. I think if anything, she has stayed with them too long in the hoping and the begging part. And it's hurt her business as a whole, because she's wanting them so badly to move forward that she herself has not. And so we need to be very careful as leaders where we're spending our time and who we're spending it with. Some people, that's all they're going to do. That's it. They're going to go to diamond, they're going to go to double, and they will say to you, but I want this so bad. Well, where's the work? Have they learned any new skills? Are they doing anything differently? And that's what I would call them out on. I would say, okay, what books are you reading? What new skill have you picked up? Are you studying these new social platforms? Are you back out doing sip and samples? What are you doing to move yourself forward? Because we know what it is. They're just stuck. They are just stuck in time. They're in a time warp, wishing that everything would be like it was. You mean you wish that you had the feeling that you had when you first got started. That's it. They just wish they had the feeling and the energy behind it of when they first got started, because remember those feelings. I'm going to give you a great analogy, and I've said this before on many Zooms. It's like being married. I've been married a long time, 39 years. I'm not going to have the honeymoon effect right now. Forget it. I mean, 39 years, dated 6.5. That happened before the marriage even. So how do you keep that going? It evolves. See, you get to double diamond, you have got to immediately set your goals on something new and different. Like, I'm going to expand, and in order to do that, I need to read these leadership books. I need to listen to this podcast. I need to follow different people to get my juices flowing. For me, and like in a marriage, we take a trip. We change up the scenery. We do something different. We work out together. That's what you've got to teach them to do. You can't sit there every day and do what you've been doing for the last 8 years and expect something different to happen. It's not. You're just sitting on the couch wishing it was like it was when you joined. What you're wishing for is that feeling. You're never going to have that same feeling back, but you can have a different, more resolved feeling, a more determined feeling, a more, I'm going to kick your ass feeling. That's what you can have, which I love that feeling. Have you ever had that? You're talking to yourself. I'm going to kick my own, you know what? I am going to that next level. I'm going to show me what I am made of. Instead of wallowing over here, feeling sorry for yourself, watching everybody else go off into the sunset and get those big checks. And I've watched ambassadors do this. Just get there and just peace out. And then 2 years go by and they're like, well, what happened? And they don't even realize they were stuck in that funk. They wake up out of it and they said, what just happened? It's like sometimes you wake up out of your marriage and you go, what happened? What happened? Well, you quit caring about them. You quit dating. You quit talking. You quit dreaming. It's the same thing. It's just life. It's the way life plays out. So if you're trying to go in there and push and pull them, feel sorry for them, never, never, never feel sorry for them. You tell them tonight, I believe in you so much that I have been with you all this time, but I am moving forward. It is up to you if you want to go with me. Strictly that. And release them. Let them go. That's what I would advise. It's not hard. It's not harsh. It's called business. We are in business. If we stay back there with them, we are hurting our own business by doing that. And you're not helping them at all.
So what is your best advice then? So one of the questions, if someone's kind of like taken a step back, or they've, been on a little hiatus, or they just want to jump back in and get recharged again, I think this is a good time to ask that question. What would be your best advice in working through?
The best thing to do is it's up to them. They already know how to put in customers. They already know how to put in distributors. That's the only two things we get paid for. That's it. And I would tell them that these are the two things that we get paid for. How are you going to go out right now and acquire them? What are you going to do? Action has to step up with the start. It can be, I'm ready. And we've had this question a lot lately because I believe our team is waking up. I believe our teams are wanting to promote. I believe our teams are feeling like I'm being left behind, because they are. We've got a whole new crop in that top 50 that are just killing it right now. And people can sense it, and they don't want to be left out. And so in order for them to do this, they have to make the definitive decision. They have to. What I would do is I would say, okay, I am behind you 100%. I believe within every fiber of my being that you can do this. You've already shown yourself, me, and your team. Now what you're going to do is you're going to make the biggest comeback in history. That's what you're going to do. But you've got to decide. And then you go, okay, what does that look like? What does that look like for you? And walk them through the process. Say, okay, let's talk about what exactly you want, because they'll say, I want to come back. I want to start. What do you want? What do you want? What have you been dreaming about? What have you been thinking about? Let's define it. Let's refine it. Let's write it down. And let's take the steps to acquire it. Because if you're just, I think a lot of our talk is too fluff. It's not definitive enough. It's just, we're walking all the way around it thinking we're going to hurt each other's feelings. We're not. We need to lead and have, I can't imagine going in with Mark and saying, I don't know where I'm going to be. He would look at me like I had lost my mind. No one would go into a meeting with him on that. I don't know where I'm going. I want to start. No. What do you want? Write it down. Write it down exactly what you want, and then write down what that would feel like to have that. What is the reason behind that? Well, because I want more money. No. Everybody wants more money. What do you want it for? Because I'm sick of paying these bills every month. I want to become debt free. How much is the debt? Oh, I don't know. You need to find out exactly what that debt is. You need to know down to the penny what that debt is. Down to the penny. You need to know. And then you start working from the bottom up on that debt. You pay off that first small bill, then you pay off the second one. Before you know it, that debt is paid. It's just crazy what happens once you focus in on that. So then she's got a strong desire, because right now there's just a desire, but it's not strong. There's a want, but it's not, I gotta have it. There's no "it is done" going on there at all. And you're going to have the same conversation with them every 6 months. And then you have that conversation, then you move away. You move away. It is not your responsibility. It is not your responsibility. They already know what to do. You do not give them anybody unless they start proving themselves, and then you feel like somebody might be great teaming up with them. But I wouldn't give them anything in the beginning other than that conversation.
Whoa, that was
Yeah.
good. So
Yeah.
good. Okay, so I want to shift forward pretty quickly here for the sake of time. Before we end with our little mindset activity, I want to ask you, one of our leaders asked, where do you see it works in 5 years?
Wow. Gosh. All right. So I'm hoping, like, not hoping, I am really visualizing 2 to 3 billion, 2 to 3 billion in 5 years. It's like the 4 minute mile. Once you do it, uh, once Roger Bannister ran that 4 minute mile, then here comes everybody else. And we've watched a few companies in the past. I mean, it's been a long time since a company really stepped up and had 1 billion in sales. A few have in the last couple of years, but we want to be at the forefront of that. This industry deserves it. Our teams deserve it. We know once that billion is attained, then that next one will come up right behind it. That means we've got a lot of black diamonds, and that's my goal. It's about not the company. The company revenue is right there with yours. I mean, it shows that we've got more millionaires than anybody else. And that's what I envision. More moms and dads coming home, more business owners starting, more people getting out of debt. I mean, hundreds of thousands from all over the world. Our companies overseas, our international growth exceeding, like really growing. Japan is just killing it right now. Mexico is on fire. Philippines is starting to pick up. I want to see every country just really growing and evolving. I'm excited about our Latino movement. We're really starting to see a lot of that. That movement needs to get really big too, because that group is really hurting. They need the finances. They need the products. So that's what I see. 2 to 3 billion.
Well, okay, y'all, you ready? I mean, the chat's blowing up. This is so great. I'm so excited, and I believe that, and so much just in our conversations, that you are, you're not only behind that 100%, but in the way that you and Mark have shown up for our company this year, and what's behind the scenes that you guys are taking care of from a product perspective, from
y'all haven't seen anything yet. I mean, what's getting ready to come right around the corner is going to blow your flipping minds. It really is. He's hungry. He's hungry. And I mean, look what he did to the comp plan. Look what he's doing to the products. The innovation behind them, what's coming next, and our look is evolving. It hasn't been perfect, but I'm telling you, we're getting the manufacturing down. We're nailing it. You're going to see a whole different movement as far as shipping, a customer service, everything. The Connect app is going to blow you away.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Don't wait for these things to happen.
Yeah.
Build. Some of our biggest growth has been through the most trying of times, and we got it done.
Well, they happen at the perfect time, right? And our job is just to keep talking to people, keep showing up, you guys, keep bringing people in the business, keep exposing it to them. We were on our ambassador chat today. We have one every Wednesday, and we were on our ambassador chat, and we were just saying that we are the brand ambassadors for It Works. What does ambassador really mean? When we leave our home, when we go outside of this door, when we're on social media, we are all brand ambassadors for this company. And just think about how we're representing this company as a whole. So in every way that you talk to people, and the posts that you put on social media, and the handshakes that you give, and the hellos that you give, into how you treat the person standing in line next to you at Starbucks and at Target and at the grocery store. We are brand ambassadors for this company, so we have to remember that. And we need to embody not only who we are as a company and our culture, but where we're going. And so just remember that as you all are posting and showing up and getting ready every day, that you are all such a big, huge piece of this giant puzzle that we're in. And just know that your piece is super important, that without your piece, we wouldn't have the whole piece. And so show up as a brand ambassador for this company in every way and every single day, that as you're living your life. And I think that if you just remember that, and just remind yourself of that every day, I think you'll go so far with this, and it'll just, your life will prosper. And so I want to leave that. I want to leave tonight with just one mindset activity. And I think that someone even asked, which was perfect, what is one mindset shift activity that you've done that's been probably the biggest game changer? Can we leave tonight talking about big sheet, little sheet? Mm-hmm. I think that would be.
We're saying sheet.
Sheet. Big sheet, little sheet.
This is a great exercise for you all. It's so simple to do too. Don't think that this is hard. This is a great exercise for each of you to take back to your teams, because when I did this for the first time, and it was on a Zoom like this, it just really got people to understand what they think about themselves. And one of the biggest shifts that I'm seeing in the personal development arena, and even with scientists, I follow a lot of scientists. I read a lot of books based off of the brain. And the shift is loving ourselves. That we hear a lot about self-care, but loving who we are and appreciating who we are and where we're at. It's so important, because how could you possibly, if you don't love who you are, how could you possibly give that love back out there? And so, there's some things that I do that some people would probably think that are crazy, but I look at myself in the mirror, dead into my eyes, and I speak truth into me. And it's important to do that, because a lot of times we don't hear it, and we need it. We need it as a body and as a soul. And so we've got to do better self-talk. It's very, very important. So this exercise really gets us thinking about what we're thinking about. And we've all been hearing this a lot lately. What you think about comes about. You reap what you sow. Ask and it is given. And see, ask and it is given is one of my favorite quotes, because when you're talking things to yourself, that's an ask, and that is given back to you. And I don't think we're very well aware of that. So what I recommend is you get a big sheet, and then you take another small sheet, another sheet, and you cut it in half, okay? Or fold it in half, just like that. So you've got a regular 8.5 by 11 piece of copy paper or whatever, and then you take another one and you fold it in half. So on the big sheet, we're going to draw a big picture of ourselves, okay? So we're going to draw a big picture, a big smiling face, our ears, beautiful hair, a stick figure, okay, of who we are. And at the top of that sheet, I want you to put your name. And make it fun. This is just of you. I am not a drawer at all. My stick figures of me, I'm very thin and very young. I can tell you that. Very thin and very young. So that's my stick figure. So we're drawing that. Now around that, right, what do you want? What do you want? Do you want a beach house? What kind of car do you want? What is your check? How do you want to feel? Do you want to be happy every day? How do you want your family to feel? What trips are you going to take? What are the things that you're going to do? What's your gifts back? All around that stick figure. I mean, fill that up. How do you want to feel? What are you feeling when that check comes in? How do you feel driving that car? You know, when I'm driving around in my car, I'm feeling pretty sexy. You know, I'm feeling like, wow, this is a great car. I mean, I just love the car. I thank the car for being the car, for being in. I talk to it, I thank it. You know, I'm going, I love you. Lick the leather of the car, clean the car. You know, if you're not keeping up with the car that you currently have, why are you going to be blessed with another one? So making sure that you know, I take good care of my stuff, I guess is what I'm saying. What kind of shoes are you going to have? What kind of handbag are you going to have? Step it up in your handbags and your shoes. You know, what's your hair going to look like? Write this out. It's very important. There is something very important about writing and the way that it works with your brain. Not right, you know, that's why we need to journal. There is a connection there that is unspoken. More will come to truth if you do that. So in other words, you want the check, write it out. What is that check? What is that going to do for you and your family? How do you feel about that coming in? All of this is vitally important on the big sheet. Then you take the little sheet, the little half sheet, and you're going to draw a smaller U. A smaller U. Now this U is not smiling. This U is either like this or frowning. Around this U, I want you to start tonight. You can carry this through, and I want you to start writing out your thoughts, your everyday thoughts. What are you thinking? What are you thinking right now? Behind my conversation with you, your thoughts are running. What is she talking about? That sounds crazy to me. That'll never happen to me. Oh, I will never make $10,000 a month. This is your negative self-talk, which is making you shrink. It is making you small. It is making you a tiny person instead of that vibrant big sheet person, which the big sheet is a happy dream sheet. The small sheet is your everyday thoughts that are keeping you stuck in where you are. And so as you take that small sheet with you tonight, first thing when you wake up in the morning, write on it. Whatever it is, no one is going to see this. Now, what is the purpose behind this? You're getting more than likely what's on the small sheet. That's what you're getting. Do you want what's on the big sheet? Yeah. But more than likely, you're getting what's on the small sheet. And that's what I have discovered for my own life. I'm getting the small, sad me. And so I have to come into awareness. So you want to take this with you when you start working your business, and you'll hear that, oh, this will never happen for you. Oh, you'll never promote. No one is saying this to you. You are saying this to yourself. So where are these thoughts coming from? And have you ever noticed if somebody says no to you, then you just go down this entire rabbit hole of negativity. Well, what you can do is the frame of reference can be, oh, wait a minute. They just said no. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole and get what's on this short sheet. I don't want to do that. So you correct it. You go, no, I'm going here. I'm going big sheet. I'm going big sheet. I'm going big sheet. This is where I'm going. This is what Denise was talking about. She would hear, I bet you hit not. No, I'm going 113. I'm going 113. So what you're saying is, and I'm going the big sheet. I'm going to go get everything on that big sheet. I'm getting everything on that big sheet. So the only reason we're doing this is to become aware of when that trigger hits this sheet. that little one. When a trigger hits, now here's a trigger. Your husband gives you a certain look. A distributor quits. Somebody doesn't join. You get 3 no's in a row. Those are triggers. Old programming. The rich get richer. This will never happen for you. Oh my God, look who just promoted. Trigger, trigger, trigger. Little sheet, little sheet, little sheet. Here you go down the rabbit hole of that little sheet. You're living in it sometimes for 3 months, 6 months, a year. Do you know that a golfer can hit a bad shot on a hole in a tournament and carry that hole with him for 12 years? That happened to a golfer. He hit a bad shot on a hole, and after that, he just didn't recover for 12 years until he traced it back. He traced it all the way back to that. I was listening to a podcast. This couple were on. They were on a television show, and they helped people lose hundreds of pounds. And after the show, and the people got home, they got back into the little sheet of life. That's what they didn't stay in the big sheet. They got back into the little, same friends, same negativity, same watering holes, same pizza place. They didn't stay in the big sheet. They didn't make big sheet changes. And so they went in, one guy went into, he got gas, went into the convenience store, and instead of getting a Diet Coke, he got a regular Coke. Several hundred pounds gained. They traced it all the way back to that one day, that one trigger that took them down that rabbit hole. So the next day, he got the Coke. The next day, he got the Coke, and then he added something to it. Then the next day, he got the Coke, the burger, and the fries. And the next thing you know, all the weight's back. We can use this for weight loss. We can use this for anxiety. We can use this analogy for everything that we want in our life. And I love this because you can carry it around with you. And when you find that you're on this, just recognizing it and stopping it and being aware of it and not fighting it. I'm not saying, don't you cuss at that little sheep. Don't you get in a war with it. Don't you take it down with you. You go, oh my gosh, I was right there. Okay, I'm going over here. Just change your focus. That's all it is. All he had to do that day was say, oh no, I'm living in the big sheet of life. I've lost the weight. I'm going to get this diet drink. Because a voice is always there trying to pull us back into that little sheet. It's always there. It's hovering until we're really full on living. And guess what your big sheet's going to do? It's going to grow. You're going to mark things off. You're going to add things to it. It's just going to be the sheet of the most amazing life. I encourage you to do this. I encourage you to do this. There's something about connecting with it on paper. I'd like you to use colors when you draw things out. Put around your mind, around your head, the joy that you want in your life, the happiness that you want in your life, the freedom that you want in your life, the great thoughts that you want, that I'm inspiring thousands. I'm walking across stage. I'm like, people are clapping. They're happy for me. I just promoted. I've got the trophy. You can have the trophy in your hand. You can draw it in there. It's off limits what you can put on the shoes that you want. Have the 10 handbags down your arm. Have the ring that you want. Keep it growing and keep it going. I hope that your big sheet is so colorful and full of life that you never want to live in the little sheet ever again. Ah, man, that's good stuff.
Guys, it's so good. You know, something we're starting tomorrow, Mom, is we're starting some journal prompting because we really want to teach this and we know how important it is.
Yeah.
when you think about journaling, and this is the last and final question, what's a good launch point? You know, if you're just going to sit down and journal, I know you like to journal from a place, as I do too, from a place of a story, but
Yeah.
sometimes that's hard for people because what happens is they start writing the story, but the little sheets start showing up.
Yeah.
And so I've noticed that with myself. It's been one of the kind of the hardest breakthroughs is just like, sometimes I'm just not in the headspace for a story. I'm like, I don't know, because the little sheet just starts creeping in. So what's one way to kind of break through that? What's a good
Well,
journal prompt?
you know, some of us, we've all come from a different place. And believe me, everybody in your life has done the best that they possibly could with your upbringing, or they would have done differently. And our parents were programmed from a very early age with certain words, examples, life lessons, stories that they bought into. And they heard them from their parents, who heard them from their parents. So, you know, one of the biggest things that I learned is I don't want my children carrying on these thoughts and passing them down unless they're the big sheet thoughts. And so this is just not a work for us. This is a work for our family. And do not think that this is going to happen overnight. Now, sometimes something tragic happens in our life, which totally wakes us up. We come out of that little sheet mentality because something, it could be a divorce, it could be a fourth baby that was not expected, it could be a death. It doesn't have to be tragic, but something can happen in our life. It could be a severe debt. It could be suddenly I'm single and I'm floored by that, you know, and so we have to wake up and take care of ourselves. We thought we were living in the big sheet, but suddenly that sheet imploded too in some ways. So this is a work. It is a work, and it is every day. So for me, journaling, even if it's 5 minutes, just getting it in the bathroom, you're sitting on the toilet for 5 minutes and it's writing. I mean, it doesn't have to be full on. It would be nice if we all had that kind of time, but it's well worth waking up early to do this. How you start your day is extremely important. I want you to go Google Jim Quick. I just talked to Kay about him the other day. Kwik. Jim Quick. Jim had a brain injury as a child, and he was labeled as the boy with the broken brain. And Kay just wrote it out. And you can Google 10 things everyone should do in the morning. 10 things everyone should do in the morning. And he's got it on a lot of YouTube videos. Brilliant. Every single one of them. And the only thing that I would add, he says drink water. I would drink celery, then drink water. Our brain is dehydrated in the morning. And if the first thing that we're reaching for is our phone, then we're already in a reactive frame of mind. We're reacting to the phone. And we're allowing life to run us for that entire day. So he says, do not leave the phone anywhere near your head. Put it out of the bedroom. Give yourself at least an hour in the morning. It's going to shatter some of you, but it will be life-changing. I no longer have the phone in my bedroom. It is in the bathroom, and it has been the best thing that I ever did. And I don't get up and look at it first thing unless we got a new baby that we're expecting in the household. And then I have it right by me. But that's the only time I've broken the rule. Even setting my alarm, I set it in the bathroom. I have to get up and go turn it off. So Jim Quick, he can go into an audience and he can memorize within minutes 100 people's names and go back and say each one of them, and he's never met any of them before. He's a master at this. So I follow him a lot. I'm listening to him a lot because our brain is something that we really don't want to be foggy. We want our brain to be sharp, and we want our brain to be as brilliant as it possibly can. So Jim Quick's a great thing. Journaling is a non-negotiable, because journaling, well, it'll just make you rich. That's it. And not just in money, in everything. And your health. How do you want to feel? How do you want to look? Journal it. Write it out. Be specific. And then watch the synchronicities of life start to show up. Journaled for a trainer. Got it. Boom. Right there. Right there. That quick. That quick. Want to lose weight? Suddenly, new product comes in from It Works Global, or you see a story that inspires the heck out of you. You journaled, I'm a size blah, blah, blah. I fit into this brand of clothing. I love the way I look in these tight jeans. I can't, oh my gosh, the dress that I got is a size blah, blah, blah. You should see the way I look when I walk into a room. And you visualize that whole thing. That whole thing. It's like visualizing your wedding day. You visualized your wedding day down to walking down that aisle. Why are we doing that for our everyday life? That's just one day. Granted, it's a big day, but why aren't we doing that same thing for everything in our life? I see my grandsons graduating. Happy, healthy, full on. Because that's what I want for my grandsons. Once they start getting up in age, I'm going to see them doing something else. And because I want them to grow up, I want them to be happy. I see them doing that. I'm a part of their life. We're a part of their life. This is how we should be living our life. We're imaginative creatures. We're the only creatures born in this world that have an imagination. We're the only ones. We don't use it like we should. I want you to study. Start listening to, I love Ed Mylett talking about the ego. He has Dr. Joe Dispenza on. Jeez, that blew me away, that show. So anyway, I've got to go journal. New handbag.
I learned, you guys, if it helps to journal from just a place of gratitude.
Yes.
It's the easiest way that I think it can roll off your tongue. If you journal from gratitude in the sense of, I am so grateful for the 10 new distributors I've enrolled this month.
Yes.
I am so grateful for all the new loyal customers who are just pouring into my business. It's like they're coming out of nowhere, as if they're coming out by magic. They're just showing up. They're knocking on my door. They're in my inbox, and they're placing big orders. I'm so grateful for the 10,000 new volume in my downline. So if it helps you come from a place of gratitude, and I think it starts to roll off your tongue. So if you need a prompt, I think that is one that's really helped me when I'm just sitting down in my journal. And
Jim Quick talks about the words that you speak after the I am. Mm-hmm. He was on Ed Mylett, but let's watch that interview. You can watch it on YouTube if you want to watch it live. Okay. And how. And Ed was blown away. He said, usually you hear that from on the spiritual side. He said, no, from the brain side, it's affecting the brain. They can test it, and they can see that what you say after the I am, blah, 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 is calling it out, basically. Okay, what you just said, when we look at the gap, when you say, I am grateful for, you're closing the gap. It's coming to you. That's exactly what the I am grateful for is doing. It's helping. And it will speed it up. It will absolutely speed it up. And praying over your team. I am so blessed to have this incredible team. And some people on your team that are problematic, we all have them. Watch how they shift. Just pay attention when you say things like this, and then you see how they shift. It's so interesting to watch. Okay, that was good. That was
So
really
good.
good.
No, so
Yeah.
good. We hit so many different angles here, but mindset was key tonight, you guys, and you're the queen of that. So thank you all so much for being on. We will get this recording to you because we know that's important. Watch it over and over and over again as you're journaling and creating your day. So thank you guys so much. Thanks, Mom.
And I'm so grateful for a $3 billion company with $100,000 a month earners. That's what I am grateful for. And I'm looking at their faces right now. Yes, I am. Good night, everybody.
You're all amazing. Thank you.